From the island of Barbados, the Merrymen and the Barbados Dance Theater.
It's wonderful to be here, not only to play for you, but to be with so many of our Barbadian friends who we have not worked with for such a long time. The Opals, Richard Stout, we even met Mike Wilkinson tonight, who came backstage. We're enjoying playing for you.
Talk about an extra special Red Couch event, and today it is it, because I get to interview one of my heroes in Sir Emile Straker. And Sir Emile, I understand that you were really born Charles is your first name.
So I heard.
So you heard. This interview is really about you. So I want you to tell us a little bit about your early life. Let's go back to the very beginning of where you grew up and that sort of stuff.
Well, I actually grew up very close to Queen's Park, right? And at that time, I used to take me around my uncles and things. They'd walk me down to the wharf and them places. But I was thrilled with that action, and I saw a lot. And I got very friendly with some of the people from the wharf.
So before you go to that, Sir Emile, we have to tell the audience that the time you are talking about, there was no Deepwater Harbor, and that the ships were out in Carlisle Bay. And that you had these boats that we call lighters that used to bring in all the goods from the boats into the careenage, offload them, and then they went to the warehouses, correct?
In those days, the ones that would drive right up the river, past the park, and turn left above Queen's Park, and go right up. I never knew what they went through out there. It must have been somewhere that I could turn around and come back down.
So you're saying that the lighters used to go all the way up past the park?
Yes.
I've heard this. I've heard Sir Henry Fraser on this before. I never saw that myself.
Yes.
So the river really was a real river then?
A real river,
Yeah. When I became aware of Emile Straker and the Merrymen, you were already playing music, but you were still working at T. Geddes Grant. That much I remember with my stepfather, Eddie Branker. Yeah.
Right. But when I started to work there and go to Queen's Park,
When speaking of his wife, Sir Emile explained that he met her, Joyce Lady Straker, at the Barbados Cruising Club.
Before we got together, I went away with some of the boys for the Merrymen. And then I came back here to Barbados and really got them on the move. And that is when we went away again, and it was
a tour.
Tremendous.
I gave my lady a coconut. She said I like it.
So tell me about the how did the concept, the idea of the Merrymen become a reality? How was that formed?
Before that,
Right.
some of the boys from Harson's College and myself had things going on. We brought the first group from Kensington Hall and marched them through Bridgetown, cross the bridge, and right up to the garrison.
But I want to focus, Emile, a little bit on the music and Merrymen. It was you, it was Robin Hunt, Chris Gibbs, Stephen Fields originally.
Right.
Yeah. So how did
before them.
Before them, yeah.
It was some of the same boys from Harrison's College
Okay.
that started to play music.
Where did it, before you get to that though, where did you learn to play guitar? I mean, obviously singing is something that came naturally to you, because I don't believe you went and had formal training and thing. You just were gifted with a beautiful voice and the ability to sing. I'm assuming. But what about the guitar? How you learned to play guitar?
I learned to play guitar from when I first went to Canada. And then when I came back here,
Okay.
I got married to my wife. All of that time, I was playing the guitar with three of us.
There's a particular, I can't put it into completely into words other than to say there's a distinctive sound that you created. So to think that you were a self-made musician is even more incredible. So the people that we know as the Merrymen or the original Merrymen, those were not the people you started playing music with? Okay, got that.
No.
Okay. Now, I want to talk a little bit about your writing skills, because I feel that I speak and write language, the English language, fairly well, but I don't think I could write songs. I don't think I could be a songwriter.
You?
So, no, I don't think so.
Well, I think so.
You think so? It might be a little late now for me to start a songwriting career. But you have written, do you know how many songs you have written in your career?
About
A few thousand, perhaps? A few thousand?
a few thousand.
A few thousand.
4,000 or 5,000.
4,000 or 5,000 songs. As long as the Merrymen were in Barbados, you performed every week at the Pepper Pot.
At the Pepper Pot.
Yeah. What was that like?
It was good. But I saw what moved me from there.
The following incident that Sir Emile describes took place at an establishment in St. Lawrence Gap, Christchurch.
From there is you could go upstairs the Pepper Pot, and there was a lake up there, and we would go up there sometimes and play a little music. And the fellow came to me and told me the one that was running, we want $5 more. He told me, I argued with him and things, you want me to pet you in the Pepper Pot? And they came back down. And I told the men, we will play here a little longer, but then be looking for another place.
Another venue, right. But you played there for many years. You had a floor show. I don't remember which night of the week it was that you were at the Pepper Pot, but the Pepper Pot was always packed to capacity when the Merrymen were playing. Vic Brewster was your standard MC, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, you remember those days, surely, yeah. But then you went beyond that and you created a whole show at the Pepper Pot, which became the place in Barbados to go to be entertained. Tell me a little bit about that business venture that you and your wife went into.
That idea came up from both of us. So we started to work on it, and it started to look good. Everything that we said we would try, it looks very good.
So you had everything there. You had parking, you had buffet. Some of the best meals I've ever eaten were at the Plantation Garden Theatre. You had a nice big stage, you had dressing rooms, you had fixed lighting, you had seating. You had everything that you need to stage a theater type show in Barbados, and there's never been anything quite like it since.
I am wondering why.
Me too.
Huh?
And your wife ran that, but originally the plantation was your home. That's where you lived.
Yeah.
So as you said, you and your wife came up with the idea that you could do something else with this, and out of that came the Plantation Garden Theatre, the dancers, the costumes. I mean, it's really like a mini Vegas show kind of thing that we had here in Barbados, and visitors came from all over the world. And then later, as you reached a point where you wanted to perhaps do some other stuff and so on, so you eventually sold the Plantation Garden Theatre. But there's really been never anything quite like the Plantation Garden Theatre show, either before or after. Certainly not in my recollection. I don't recall anything else being similar to that. So well done. That was an incredible.
Once on a time, my wife was very sharp with that show, and all the people that she employed were good.
That's a very important point. She had a solid business head.
And my son was getting to an age where he liked what was going on too. So he used to invest a lot in what we did.
When you look back on your long and illustrious career, is there anything you would rather have done other than what you did with your life?
Nothing.
When you were told of your knighthood, that there was this recognition for your tremendous contribution, what does being knighted as Sir Charles Emile Straker, what did that mean to you? What does it mean to you?
I think it meant a lot. I never imagined that one day. It's like now. I never imagined I would be talking to you, and a man that you were one of my favorite fellas in the place that we worked together.
Well, it's a mutual admiration society. So, Emile, it is an honor and a pleasure, and I thank you for being my guest.
Well, the same for me.